Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal set at this video is to walk you through different ways you can use a tool called ChatGPT with your virtual assistant to be more productive at work. Now if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own virtual assistant agency 2XU, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now a few videos back, I talked about ways that a virtual assistant can use ChatGPT when it comes to working with their clients, and I wanted to do a reverse video of how you can use it yourself to be more productive at work when it comes to working with your virtual assistant. Now, if you have no idea what ChatGPT is, the fastest way you can think about it is just one of those chatbots that you talk to for customer service or support when you are on someone else's website, and it responds back to you in a non-customer service way. It's basically gathered a lot of the internet's knowledge in the last couple of years into one chatbot that you can ask questions, you can get information from. And honestly, it's one of the things that in the last month in 2XU, a lot of our assistants have been really learning. So I have a whole lot of lists of different ways that they've been using it for their clients, and I wanted to share the top ones with you so you can start thinking of the different ways that you can use it with your employees or your own virtual assistant. Now, the first one is going to save you a lot of time is creating templates. What I mean by this is ChatGPT just makes it so much easier to create output. Now, one disclaimer I am going to say right off the bat is that ChatGPT is usually just a way for you to create more output, just to generate ideas. I don't wholly recommend that you always use the same content straight out of ChatGPT. I do recommend that you customize it to be for your own use, but creating templates out of it, whether that's email templates, document templates, whether it's a template on how you create your policies for your business, which we'll dive into a little bit, and how do you create different systems, different ways, different just quick and easy documents that you can just grab up for you to be able to use for working with your clients or even your employees. It just makes it so much easier. For a lot of our assistants in 2XU, they've used it, like I said, for just emails. I've used it for myself, honestly, for emails when it comes to really difficult conversations. So I've just been saving all of these emails that I've asked ChatGPT to respond to, so then I can easily now grab those from the databases that I've created on Notion. So I've kind of combined Notion with ChatGPT by creating this database of every single thing that I've asked it to. And if you guys haven't heard of Notion at all, it's one of my favorite tools. You guys can explore it with lianlai.com/Notion, which will help support this channel. But essentially, I've been able to just have a way to look at everything else that our assistants have created as templates for, again, email and docs, and make it easy to be able to share it with other people, and of course to reuse it in my own business. Second way that you can use ChatGPT with your assistant or your employees is to create systems. And this is something that was really interesting and mind-boggling when I first started thinking it through. But you can basically create standard operating procedures within ChatGPT, breaking down the step-by-step process for you so you don't have to write it from scratch. So let's say that you've been really wanting to create a standard operating procedure on how to manage your emails, or you've been wanting to create a standard operating procedure on how you're doing a certain thing in your business. As long as it's a common kind of process, you can ask it to create a step-by-step broken down process, which you can then take, edit, and then have it as part of your business. This is honestly has been a little bit groundbreaking, because one of the things that we specialize in 2XU is that we create a lot of systems and assets for our clients. So us being able to fast track that process of grabbing things from our clients of like, hey, these are different things that goes on into their business, this is all the processes on how to do it, has made it so much easier for our assistants to be able to create that documentation for their clients. Next is you can use ChatGPT as a way to create responses. So as I said earlier, one of the ways that we've used it is for templates for emails. However, there's going to be emails that need to be a little bit more custom or personalized. One of the things I've actually done is I'll copy a part of an email that I am struggling a little bit to respond to. I'll paste it to ChatGPT and ask, create a response for this if I wanted this outcomes. For example, let's say that a client was asking for something that was beyond our scope. In the future, I want to create it, but right now we can't do it. I would actually put it in ChatGPT saying, create a response for this where we can't do the work yet, but we want to do it later. And it actually just creates that. One of the fun things about ChatGPT is if you have a thread that you've created and it kind of starts knowing more and more about your questions, it knows more about your business. That's the fun thing also. So since I've been using it a lot for just creating, again, those difficult responses, it knows what my business is, which is a virtual assistant agency. So even if I don't plug in that I am a virtual assistant agency, based on the previous conversations we've had, it understands that this response is supposed to be for a virtual assistant agency, which is mind-blowing, honestly. Next is planning content. Now, this is something that I have shared with a lot of my contacts. If you guys haven't connected with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, this is something that I talk about a lot, which is using ChatGPT for planning content. Creating content is a whole other thing that I'll discuss later, and I'll probably do a whole YouTube video on that. But for when it comes to planning the content, one of the prompts that I've even used myself is I'll just say 12 bottlenecks for my niche client when it comes to XYZ or hiring an assistant. So for example, for me, 12 bottlenecks for coaches, authors, and entrepreneurs about hiring an assistant. These become the 12 themes of my year. So that's like 12 pieces of content already, and then I would break it down of like create 4 video topics based on this first bottleneck. So for example, let's say the first bottleneck is that they can't find someone for their business. Okay, create 4 video topics. That's 4 weeks of content. If I do this, of course, for all 12, I've basically created a whole month's weekly content already right there on ChatGPT. Breaking down further, then I would go ahead and create a script that will then be the basis of a YouTube video or a blog post or a social media post that will go out on our 2XU page. And it just, again, makes things so much easier. One of the fastest ways that you can think of ChatGPT is that it creates output. That's the biggest thing, is it fast tracks creating output. So for you, when you receive this output, it's now up to you to make it more quality. It's up to you to make it more your brand, so it actually sounds like you and not just spat out by an AI. Next is one of the ways that our own assistants have used ChatGPT is for exploring the tools that they're already using. Now, for different assistants in 2XU, they're using tools like ActiveCampaign or Notion or Google Docs. And one of the things that they have started looking up is ways to use Airtable, ways to use Asana for the task that they're looking for. And it spots out tutorials basically on how to use this tool. This way they're getting other ideas other than reading, bajillion more articles on how to best use the tool that they're trying to do. It gets specific to the kind of thing that they're trying to troubleshoot for their client. Again, makes it so much easier for them to start exploring and seeing what else they can do with the tool that they're using for their client. Another thing that you can do with ChatGPT is to create lists. And it sounds very generic, and it really is, because that's how powerful this tool is you can just start asking it to create lists for you. So earlier I talked about when it comes to planning content, you can ask it for 12 ideas on different things that your possible clients are probably struggling right now. You can keep asking it for more ideas just like that. You can make it more specific. You can say, don't mention the word virtual assistant, for me at least, in the title. It could be very generic. You can make it in a way where you can just keep asking it for different lists of ideas. You can keep asking it for lists of different things that you can do with your business. You can ask it, basically, it's a way for you to brainstorm on things that you just need a first draft on that, again, you can later edit and make it your own. Another way that you can use ChatGPT is to create questions. Now, this is something that might be or might not be useful for you, but it has been really mind-boggling for us at 2XU. So I can just ask ChatGPT to create questions for interviews for virtual assistants. Even though we have a pretty solid interview system, it's a way for us to go into like, hey, we can add this question. Like, hey, we don't ask this question more. So again, it's more of us being able to filter. You can also ask it for a question. For example, for us, we do coaching for our executive assistants. We use it like, hey, coaching questions if they're struggling with this problem. Again, it makes it very specific. Instead of you reading through so much content, it makes it very specific to the thing that you're trying to troubleshoot for. So asking it to generate certain questions, if you have a call coming up, interview coming up, really helps. Again, not have you have the blank page that you're not really sure what to put in the first place. It just makes it easier to edit that first draft and actually get your ideas flowing. And speaking of questions, another way that you can use ChatGPT is to create a scorecard. Now, a scorecard is a tool that I have used in 2XU myself. If you guys do go to 2xu.com/scorecard, very straight and easy, but it's one of the scorecards that we've created of like, are you ready to have an assistant, basically? And for us in 2XU, I've been able to use it to generate and create more scorecards. And if you've never heard of a scorecard before, it's basically a lead generation way for you to be able to get possible clients to sound off of like, hey, this is what I need. Let's say I was creating 2XU from scratch. I would create a scorecard of like, what would be main things that they would need a virtual assistant to be able to do? And that scorecard will give me that. So ChatGPT has enabled me to create more and more scorecards so I can keep asking questions to my target audience, so I can keep tweaking my agency or any products that I have in the future. And by the way, if you do want to sign up for the scorecard app that I use, it's called Score App. It's one of my favorite tools, honestly, to use. You can go to 2xu.com/score app. Different from our scorecard, Score App is the app to use, but it's basically a way for us to keep creating these beautiful scorecards for our potential clients to fill in and go into. And just a quick prompt for you is you can just say, create a quiz yes or no question for my target audience. So for example, for us, again, entrepreneur or coaches, and if they need a virtual assistant. So then it'll generate 10 questions that for you, you can diagnose if the person is ready for your service or product. Another cool way that you can use ChatGPT is to find best practices. And honestly, this is one of my favorite things, is I've been able to find best practices across how other people are doing certain things. So for example, I've been able to find best practices on how to do travel management, best practices on how to follow up with clients, best practices on how to create spreadsheets even. So it just became this quick and easy way for me to look up how other people are using a tool or a process that I want to optimize or be better at. Next is one of the things that ChatGPT can do for you is to create summaries. I basically just asked it to create summaries of books that I've already read that I just need bullet points of, just a reminder to myself, or a way for me to be able to see or read through very quickly a book that I've always wanted to read and have just a summary right in front of me for me to decide if I want to start on that book or not. And of course, one of the best ways you can just use ChatGPT for just the basic of it is just being able to get information. And this can span out to history, they can span out to things that have happened in the past, or just things that you want to see how other people are doing it, which again, best practices. The thing with ChatGPT though is, as of the moment, as of recording, is that they don't do web searches. So if you ask it for like best flights for travel or best thing that's happened in 2022 and 2023, they probably won't spat out that answer, but it's great for just getting information for anything else as well. Now, big question is, have you used ChatGPT yourself? Let me know in the comment below. I would love to know how you've been using it. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there, so don't miss any videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember, the small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.